Let's talk about the evolution of catering. 20 years ago, everybody was doing stuffed capon. They were doing frozen green beans, canned potatoes. It was all pre-bought, pre-prepared, and then just kind of heated up and put it out there. It kind of limited you to having a really small menu, real basic, and presentation just really wasn't much of an issue. We used to send things hot, Cambro. I mean, that was the standby. Everybody packed out hot food in Cambros. Some places that had ovens where we'd work, you'd use the ovens. But the problem with the ovens is that then you started to need people a little bit more experienced, people that really knew how to cook. And you really had to rely on that person. There were field ovens, and they were really inconsistent. Hot spots, propane doesn't work, a different oven each time. They're just really inconsistent. And these things really limited you to the size of the event you could do, the menu that you'd have on the event, and definitely with your food quality. Today, as caterers, we try to put out restaurant quality food. The whole food industry has gone through a revolution over the last 20 years, and chefs are now primetime TV. Food's become really, really important to people, and the expectations have become much higher. So that required caterers to evolve with different cooking methods. Some of us still use field ovens. We do a lot of grilling on site. Hot box cooking enabled the caterer to do an unlimited size event. Let them do almost any types of food, and the food quality went up drastically. Catering companies evolve. A small upstart catering company, they're often doing small home parties, maybe some small office parties, cocktail parties, barbecues, and picnics. As a company grows and matures, they start doing larger parties. They may get into the wedding market, start doing weddings, dinners for 100, 150 people, tenant events, which often encompass buffets and food stations, and a limited amount of sit-down dinners. As you get larger and more confident, you start doing bigger parties where they're corporate events, larger social events, often with cocktails and stations followed up by a large sit-down dinner. Incorporate chef bars where you have the chefs actually preparing food to order. And then you eventually evolve to the point where you want to start doing mega events, the large events for 1,000 people or more. I'm talking about large corporate events where they may have simultaneous events happening where it could be on multiple floors of an office building or in multiple locations on a plant site, for example, that would often incorporate decor and design, lighting and entertainment. Involves a lot of logistics and a lot of planning. The mega events, a sit-down dinner for 1,000 people, you're going to need multiple kitchens to service that. You can't turn out a dinner for 1,000 people out of one kitchen because the space is just too large. The guests are too far away. The food will be cold by the time you get there. Cocktails with multiple stations, upwards of 20 or more stations of food. It takes a lot of planning and a lot to execute that. Events on multiple floors can be a real nightmare. The load-in is so important. If you mess up on the load-in, you're dead in the water. You send the wrong food or the wrong equipment to the wrong floor, there's just not enough time to straighten it out. So it's really important that you're organized going in. Partnering with other vendors sometimes comes into play. You may latch on to a really big event that you may not be able to handle, but you might be able to team up with another caterer or several other caterers to pull the job off. Once again, it takes a lot of planning to make that happen. What I hope to show you is how to jumpstart the evolution process for a new or small startup catering company into a mega event company and give you the confidence it will take to tackle such events.